There is a lot of things going on in the stock market right now. The Fed, they just lowered the interest rates by 0.5%, and that is a big jump in interest rate and a really good thing for us investors. But there is still a lot of really good buys out there, and in today's video, then I am going to be talking about 4 discounted dividend stocks that I do believe right now could be the perfect pickup for your portfolio. But before we get to those, then please leave a comment below and let me know which stocks you're looking to buy at the moment. It is always very interesting to hear what you guys are looking at as well. So moving straight to the first one on my list. And here I do have one that I have been talking a bit about before, and that is Waste Management, ticker symbol WM. And this is a Northern American company that specializes in waste management. And that is something that is becoming more and more important. And that is also one of the reasons why I do think that this company here is going to perform very, very well going forward. And when looking at their share price performance, well then we do see that right now they do have a share price sitting at $207. And looking at their monthly performance, well then is this company down by 1.5% during the last month. However, if we do zoom out and look at their year-to-date performance, well then is this company actually up by almost 16%. And that is a very, very solid performance. And looking at their ratios, well then we do see that this company right here does have a price to earnings ratio of 28, and they have an earnings per share of 7.20. The company has had a really solid performance during 2024, but I do think that this company is going to perform very, very well going forward as well. And the analysts, well, they do agree with that, and they have rated Waste Management as a moderate buy at the moment, with a share price of $224 within the next 12 months, and that is an upside of 8.17%, and that is pretty good as well. And looking at their dividends, well then does Waste Management have a dividend yield of 1.45%. They have a 5-year growth rate in their dividends of 8%, and that is a really nice growth rate to have. And they have consistently been increasing this dividend right here every single year for the last 20 years in a row. The company does not right now have the highest dividend yield out there, but they are increasing this dividend yield very, very fast, and they are very consistent in doing so, and that is super important for us dividend investors. So moving on to the second company on my list, and here we have the worldwide footwear and athletic brand Nike, ticker symbol NKE, and this is probably one of the world's most valuable brands, but their share price performance during 2024 has not been impressive so far. And they right now have a share price sitting at $88, and when looking at their performance during the last month, well then is Nike actually up by 5.17%. However, if we do zoom out and look at the performance during 2024 as a whole, well then is Nike actually down by 19%, and that is a big loss in share price when comparing this return with the return for the rest of the market. And even though 2024 has been a bad year for Nike, then I do believe that is still a really good buy, and I do believe that during 2025, well then can they maybe turn this around and get some positive stock returns again. And the analysts, they do agree with that, and they have rated Nike as a moderate buy at the moment, with a share price of $93 within the next 12 months, and that is an upside of just above 6%, which isn't too bad either. And when looking at the dividends, well then we do see that Nike has a dividend yield sitting at 1.69%, a 5-year growth rate in their dividends of almost 11%, and that is very, very nice to see as a dividend investor. And they have been increasing this dividend every single year for the last 11 years in a row. I do think that Nike being down by almost 20% is a great buying opportunity. I don't see this company going anywhere anytime soon, and as I said before, then the Nike brand is very, very strong, and it will come back eventually. Moving on to the third company on my list, and here we have Broadcom, ticker symbol AVGO, and this is a big multinational company that specializes in semiconductors and software, and they are one of the leading suppliers for the whole EV industry, and that is a very, very fast growing industry as well. And they are overall just a very, very solid company. And looking at the share price performance, well then we do see that right now they have a share price sitting at $175 per share, and during the last month then is Broadcom up by 7%. And zooming out and looking at their year-to-date performance, well then is Broadcom actually up by 57%, and that is a big increase in share price. But we have seen these semiconductor companies really just increasing rapidly in share price during 2024. But even though Broadcom is up by 57% during 2024, then I do think that they have a very, very good company going forward. And I don't think that the company is actually overvalued right now. We are seeing semiconductors being really high in demand, and we're seeing the same thing with software, and they are one of the best in the world at doing what they're doing. And the analysts, they do also agree with that, and they have rated Broadcom as a strong buy at the moment, with the share price sitting at $198 within the next 12 months, and that is an upside of almost 14%, so that is pretty big as well. But Broadcom is pretty good when it comes to dividends as well, and right now they do have a dividend yield sitting at 1.21%, and they have a 5-year growth rate in their dividends of almost 15%, and that is a very, very high growth rate in dividends, and that is extremely nice to see. And they have been growing this dividend every single year for the last 13 years in a row. And overall, then is Broadcom just a really solid company with a huge growth potential looking forward as well. Even though they're up by 57% during 2024, then I do still think that Broadcom right now is a really good buy. So moving on to the fourth and last stock on my list of stocks to buy. And here we're going to be taking a look at the real estate sector, because they are really benefiting from the decrease in the interest rates. And the company that I'm looking at here is a real estate investment trust, and that is of course the monthly dividend king, Realty Income Corp, ticker symbol O. And I guess that most of you guys already know about this company. It is a staple in so many dividend investors' portfolio. However, if we do take a look at the share price performance, well, then we do see that right now they have a share price sitting at $62 per share, and during the last month, then is Realty Income Corp up by 1.5%. And if we do zoom out and look at the performance during 2024, well, then is Realty Income Corp actually up by 9%. And that is a pretty decent performance when taking into consideration the fact that the interest rate has been really high. I do think that this company has a lot of room to grow, and I do think that when the interest rates get just a little bit lower than what they are now, that we are gonna see these companies absolutely explode up in share price. And the analysts, they do also agree with that, and they have rated Realty Income Corp as a moderate buy at the moment, with a share price sitting at $64 within the next 12 months, and that is an upside of 3%. And even though that is not the highest possible upside, then I do think that once the interest rates does drop, then companies like Realty Income Corp is gonna explode up in share price. And the reason for that is because it makes investing into buildings so much cheaper than what it is right now, and it makes their business model much more profitable. However, let's take a look at their dividends, and there is a reason as to why they are being called the monthly dividend king. It is of course because they're paying a dividend every single month, but also because their dividend stats are absolutely insane. They have a dividend yield of 5%, and they have a growth rate in their dividends of 3.54%, and they have been increasing this dividend every single year for the last 26 years in a row. So the dividends for this company is absolutely amazing, and getting dividends from the same company every single month is really amazing. That was basically my top 4 stocks to buy right now. Please leave a comment below and let me know what you think about the 4 stocks that I mentioned in today's video, and maybe also let me know which stocks you're looking to buy at the moment. But thank you for watching the video, and see you guys in the next one.